What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing a team building guide for the new DOKKANFEST PICCOLO EZA that just dropped on Global here. So super simple stuff, pretty standard. So we're just going to be facing the physical Piccolo the whole time. Power absorption is the effective category, and then it looks like halfway through int types are the only type to get the 80% damage reduction. So that is very, very good. Oh, did this say something about super types? Against super. Ooh, I didn't notice this before. Okay, so certain EZAs actually have this too. This is important to remember. With power absorption being the category, most of the units on power absorption are extreme class characters, so there really isn't too much to worry about here. But there are a few select characters that actually are super types, so we will have to keep that in mind. So this is probably going to be one that I could see a few people struggling with. It's definitely not going to be the hardest difficulty of EZA. I can almost guarantee you they're going to scale down the difficulty a little bit just because of how bad this category is. It is so small. This is actually just because we just recently got all of these World Tournament buffs. And like Namekian buffs previously and stuff. And we actually just got more Namekian buffs in this celebration too, right? With those two categories getting huge buffs recently, this is a contender for, like, worst category in the game. This is it. Like, look, this is just the SSRs down here. So, this is everything. What? Like, that's insane. We have these 6 LRs and then this. That's the whole category. I'm, like... It's just... they need to rework it a little bit. First of all, I feel like they should add Kid Boo to the category. I hate that all these boos get... power absorption, except Kid Boo. I guess it's more of just a Super Boo thing, but doesn't Kid Boo do that same thing? Doesn't he have like the same abilities of being able to absorb power? I don't know. So yeah, it would be nice if we had like SGR Kid Boo, for example, would be a really, really awesome unit to have for this EZA. He would in fact be a really good leader, right? Because he's a Majin Buu Saga leader. So... or wait, am I getting that right? Yeah, I believe he is Majin Buu Saga and Battle of Fate. So there are quite a few units here that would be able to help us out. It's also unfortunate for Global right now because there's a few units we're missing, right? We don't have the STR 17 and 17, and then we also don't have the LR Super Buu here. So both of those are units that JP is going to get, to take advantage of, and that's going to make a huge difference for them, I'm sure. When team building. So we'll do the best that we can here. I've still pulled out, quite a few units, pretty much all of the good ones, right? So yeah, I guess enough rambling. Let's get into it. So the first unit that we've got here is the Transforming Cell. Obviously, he's going to be one of the best leads for you because he is a power absorption category lead. And then if you also happen to put some androids on the team, they are going to get the additional 30%. Unfortunately, there aren't really that many androids. It's just the cells and then the 17s are like the only ones that are on power absorption. All of the other androids are not really there, which... I don't know. I mean, I guess you have, like, Jiro in 19, but they're really bad for this EZA because he doesn't launch... what is it? He doesn't launch Ki Blast Supers for them to be able to nullify, and they have type disadvantage. So yeah, this guy is going to be really good as your leader, and then he's not amazing for EZAs because obviously he isn't, like, super impressive until he gets to Perfect Cell. And you're never going to see that in EZA. It just takes too many rotations for that to happen. But he does still have some decent stuff in his kit, as well as evasion and stuff, so he can be nice. And then the other obvious lead that you would want to run here would be the LR Super Buu. Or LR Buu Tanks, rather. So he is power absorption leader as well. He is only 170% lead, unfortunately. So... not quite as good, but if you don't have the cell, or for some reason don't want to run him, then this would be your next best bet for sure. This guy is definitely not going to provide much for you. You really need to make sure to get the 18 keys so that he can raise his defense. I imagine he's probably going to get hit pretty hard in here. But he does recover HP at the start of turn, so that can be helpful. Okay, so then I've included the int perfect cell here, but only a lot of these units that I'm suggesting are going to seem a little bit funky, but that's just because this is such a small category, and I imagine if you're watching this video that you're probably struggling because you don't have very many units in the category. So I am trying to pull more niche resources out of this category to help you guys out and point out some niche characteristics about some of these units. So one thing I can tell you for sure is that this guy is going to get you killed. He is going to be a liability for sure, right? Because he is type disadvantage, so he's going to be getting hit harder than a lot of, you know, most of the other units. Also, it's worth noting, a lot of these characters that I'm talking about, I'm comparing their ability to contend at, like, level 100 of the EZA, not necessarily just, like, level 30. I don't think that they make EZAs nowadays difficult enough where you're really going to need you know, to have, like, the optimal team in order to pass stage 30. A lot of the times you don't even have to have every single character on the correct category to get that done. Most EZAs nowadays, you could probably just do with a full, like, mono-type team if you wanted to. Because there's so many strong STR-type characters. You could just run mono STR and destroy this EZA, right? But for people that are trying to get, like, way higher up into the hundreds, this could be a decent strategy for you, because the perfect cell, you know, if you're able to get below 40% HP, which in EZA stages is actually a really, really probable thing if you're struggling to get through. They're not like other stages where, you know, you go in and then the boss is just dishing out a million damage for a super attack. You're going to get hit for a solid 200k, 300k. Maybe you have one straggler on the team that gets hit for a few normals of a couple 100k, and then now you're down a lot of your HP, right? It's very reasonable, if it's taking you a couple turns to fight through these EZAs, that you will see this transformation happen, in which case you'll get a full heal, and from that point on, this guy is going to be doing so much damage anyway, he might actually do some real damage for you. Or actually, no, he won't, because of the EZA, you know, providing this little nifty damage reduction here. So yeah, you actually won't see any damage from him, but could be a decent strategy to regain your life bar. And then once he transforms, he should be at least tanking decently, and he won't be taking damage at that point. Okay, so next up we have Metal Cooler. I wish that the free-to-play Metal Cooler cards were on Power Absorption. None of them are on the Power Absorption category, unfortunately. So you actually don't have the opportunity to run the meme team of just this guy as your leader and then all the free-to-play Metal Cooler cards. You can't do that. And because it's an EZA, you can only run one Metal Cooler, but it's nice because they all have different names, right? So yeah, you don't have that opportunity, and actually there's pretty much no, other than the two Metal Coolers, I'm pretty sure there's like no Wicked Bloodline cards on the entire category anyway. I mean, it's like mostly Boo and Cell, right? Yeah, so it's just the AGL one and then the physical one, that's it. So yeah, you couldn't run a Wicked Bloodline team if you wanted to, which is very unfortunate. I always like to run the Wicked Bloodline team whenever I can. One of my favorites in the game, for sure. But yeah, Metal Cooler, it does have his free revive, which could be very interesting in an EZA setting. Ooh, and he also has a great chance to nullify unarmed super attacks. Okay, so what this means, let me show you this really quick. So this Piccolo here, when he transforms right here at stage 15, when he goes into his TUR status, he is going to have an unarmed super attack. But that's only going to last until stage 25 right here, because once he does the transformation, he gets a special type super attack, and it's not unarmed anymore. So that's only going to be active for this middle phase of the EZA. It's not going to really be relevant for the upper stages, unfortunately. I did make sure to check on that before... you know, before starting the video, because I knew there were some nullification characters and stuff that I was going to have to look into a little bit deeper. Okay, so next up, this guy was actually a mistake to put on here because he is super type. So I guess the only thing that is decent for him is that he has a high chance to evade for 7 turns, which obviously 7 turns is going to be plenty of time to get you through the entire stage. So, yeah, so his high chance to evade is all he can provide you here. And then obviously his, you know, his Boo links. If you are running like a Boo heavy team, then he could have some good links to help out that are going to provide some healing and some nice attack and defense buffs. But yeah, he definitely won't be doing any damage at all, and then obviously his stun you won't be able to get off. So yeah, other than his links and the dodge, he's useless. Okay, so then, yeah, I should have put this guy with the other cooler, but obviously you have the opportunity to run this guy if you don't have the physical meta cooler, but I would definitely say that the physical meta cooler is much, much, much better. I wouldn't even consider running this guy over him if you have him, so. Though, you do have the core, which could be interesting. That could be very, very interesting. So I learned something recently about these giant transformations, which is kind of cool. This could actually be neat for an EZA setting. So, the way that these giant transformations work, when this guy actually transforms into the Metacooler core, the turn counter is paused. And then when he de-transforms and you go back to your normal rotation, it's still the same turn number as it was when he initially transformed, when that turn started. So, the way that the bosses are coded, if you'll notice, it's very common for bosses to be coded in Dokkan, where they super attack once per turn, like kind of on average, except for like, you know, red zone stages and other like much more challenging content. Obviously, that stuff, you know, bosses can super more, but in an EZA setting, basically, we're talking about pretty much a boss will super once per turn, or 0 times per turn. So, what I'm getting at here is while you're going through the entire giant form transformation, the boss is going to launch the super attack at some point during that. And then when you de-transform, because the game still thinks it's the same turn number, the boss has already done all of his super attacking, so that next turn that you get after the transformation is going to be a free turn where you know you're not going to take any damage. So having a character with a giant transformation like this can be very, very helpful for an EZA stage where, let's say, turn 1, you come in, it's the bad rotation where the weak characters are, so you get hit below the 50% HP, you're able to do some damage to the enemy. Then you do the core transformation, you get a little bit more damage done to the enemy. Then you defuse, and now you have a safe turn where you know you're not going to get slammed with a super attack, and maybe this is enough to finish the enemy off. Or maybe he's almost dead, and then you can just chip away at him at the beginning of the next turn. So these transformations can be very, very, very useful. So yeah, maybe there is you know, a scenario where you might want to use this guy instead of the other Metal Cooler. Potentially. Though a revive you could argue a revive is even more worthwhile, right? Okay, so we've got the AGL Super 17 here. I genuinely can't believe that I am putting this guy on a team building guide yet again. If you have seen most of the team building guides on the history of this channel, any of these categories that have ever had a mission, I pretty much... this is like a go-to unit that I would always throw on these teams. But ever since like the 7th anniversary and the major power creep with red zone and stuff, this guy's basic damage reduction that he gets of just 40% with no additional like defense to really help him out, he does seen getting hit pretty hard nowadays. But I would say for an EZA stage, this isn't the most challenging content in the game, and there really aren't that many choices on this team. This is actually going to be one of the better defensive units that I think you can rely on. I wouldn't depend on him as a slot 1 unit, as we may have once done in the past, but, you know, once he's able to get the great defense raise on his super attack effect, then the 40% damage reduction will definitely start to be more pungent for you. And then obviously the second turn that he comes back around, he'll be much better because he'll have taken a few of the hits that he needs to take in order to build up the extra damage reduction to make him just sponge hits a little bit better there. Man, I always wish that when they EZA'd this guy, they had given him the ability to absorb super attacks, like Ki Blast supers. It literally looks like that's what he's doing right here. And like he has the exact same little button on his hand that, you know, like Dr. Gero has and Android 19 have, that they literally suck up Ki Blast supers with. And he's on the power absorption category, for crying out loud. It just frustrates me that he doesn't have anything like that in his kit. Maybe when the EZA 2 comes, maybe then, right? Very, very possible. Oh, okay, yeah. So this was another unit I added in here early on when I was clicking through the entire category and just wanted to check out the units. But this is a bad unit to use because, as we just went over, there is not a Ki Blast super that's going to be, you know, dished out by the enemy, so this guy is going to get hit by attacks, and he is not going to sponge them well. So, yeah, definitely don't want to have him on the team. Type disadvantage is a no-go. So now we're talking. We've got some type advantage here. An STR unit. Yay, we love these. And it's an android. you know, so he'll pair perfectly with the perfect cell or with the transforming cell if you use him as your leader. But yeah, this guy is definitely going to be probably one of the harder hitters. Greatly raising attack for 1 turn, and he has type advantage over the enemy, so that could be good. And then I believe he gives some additional buffs to actually, this is an Android Cell Saga category enemy. This Piccolo is from the Android Cell Saga, so he is going to have the crit chance 18% and damage reduction 18% active. So yeah, this guy's actually going to be a really, really good unit to put on the team for sure. And then obviously the stunning isn't going to be a thing, but he is a really good support type unit for Android Cell Saga units as well, which there are a few that you can put on the team. So, all right, then we've got Android 21 here. Yeah, she's going to be pretty good, I would say. Just, you know, a unit. There's nothing really like fancy or impressive about her kit. She's just basic attack and defense for you. That's pretty much it. I guess the HP recovery is something to note, right? You're probably never going to see this transformation, considering the 4th turn restriction is like bad enough, and then beyond that, you still only have a 40% chance for it to proc. So yeah, I wouldn't count on the transformation or anything, but she could be good. I'm sure I'm confident she'll still be able to hold her own for sure. Oh, yeah, and it's also worth noting she is an android, so she has the ability to take advantage of that 200% leader skill. I suppose you actually could use her. Potentially. There are enough androids. Theoretically, there are enough androids on the category to run a full android team. But I think if you had enough of those androids to build a full team, there's probably a better leader skill on one of those other androids. Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, so then we've got the Majin Buu Good. This is he is an extreme type unit. Okay. So yeah, he is going to be a really strong unit as well. He's basically a nuker. But the fact that he's an orb changer on top of a nuker does help him out quite a bit. So that can be pretty good. His damage doesn't look quite as neat. This guy really does need an easy A. Jeez. He is pretty outdated. The only really experience I have using this guy was for a brief moment in the World Tournament. When he first got his awakening, and then, you know, he got this passive. STR was such a strong typing for the World Tournament, and it was the meta to have like STR orb changers and stuff on your team. And the fact that he's an AoE unit, helped out with that a lot. So I did use him in World Tournament quite a bit, and that's why I can speak to his his credibility. I think he is a little bit usable. I think if you do, make sure to plan your key placement well. So the turn before he's coming up, make sure to save all of the int and STR key spheres you can. That way, when his turn does come around, you're able to feed him a lot. But if you are able to give him a good chunk of the orbs, like 10 or so, then he is going to be hitting pretty hard for you. I think he could do some decent damage. And then obviously another Buu unit. So he's going to have all these links that are going to help you heal and stuff like that. It'll be very, very nice. Okay, and then the last unit that I threw on here real quick is Alms. So maybe less people would have this character. I mean, he's free to play, so probably most people still have him, because all I forget that the free to play units come back and are farmable every year with the Heroes Celebration. Not quite as rare as the summonable versions of the Heroes cards, right? But yeah, if you do have this guy, or actually you could probably just go into the Portal of Memories and grind him up if you wanted to as well. But yeah, so if you have this guy, he could be a decent option as well. He is an artificial lifeform support, so he'll work well with, which of these guys are on artificial lifeforms? I think it's, there's a lot of crossover actually, yeah, because you're going to have some of these Super 17 cards, like, are they on artificial lifeforms? I actually don't remember. They should be, right? Yeah, they are. Okay, artificial life forms. So all the Super 17s are going to be on there, and then obviously all the Boos, and then you have the coolers as well. Oh, in fact, Cell is also artificial life forms. Yeah, it's like the entire category. Oh, wow. I just realized artificial life forms is literally just better power absorption. Because on artificial life forms, you're going to have cards like STR Kid Buu, like Gamma 1 and 2, right? Like, then you're including, like, the babies and stuff like that, which, granted, there aren't really any good baby cards in game right now, but you know what I mean. They exist. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, we're all learning together. Where were we at here? Oh, we were at the end, actually. Yeah, so so he is actually going to be a really decent unit to have because the artificial lifeform support is very nice, and then extreme class support as well. So basically, you have a pretty solid chance of giving every single unit on your team that 30% attack and defense and the 2 key, which could be very, very nice, especially because some of those boo units do really, really feed off key. So on a boo heavy team, this guy could be a good option for sure. And then let's see here. He's getting stacking defense with each attack received. Okay, that is nice. And then that's about it. He does have the defense raise on super, which is going to help a little bit too. So yeah, not the most amazing unit, but he does have big bad bosses. He's got tough as nails metamorphosis, so some decent defensive links and healing links and stuff that are going to help out pretty well. So yeah, could be a reliable unit. Ooh, okay, we did a lot of talking on that one. Goodness, we went for 20 minutes. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch over to the game now, and we will take a look at the teams that I have put together. There are not very many this time. So, I figured in honor of the power absorption theme here, we would throw our Android 21 overlay up. How do you like that? Always a good time for 21. When we got her on the team, we got her on the screen. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is an example of just kind of a basic power absorption team. And in fact, I'm going to change it right now because I realized that the Boo, being a super type unit, the Fit Boo, is not going to be fit for the team, as you might say. So instead, I wanted to put because he seemed like a pretty decent option. So this is probably the team that I'm just going to run through the event with just because. This is a pretty ugly team, and I wouldn't blame you for absolutely hating me for this team build. I mean, it works. It's just like most of the strongest cards kind of stacked on the team, and then it's a little bit careless, right? So, the only other thing... Oh no! The screen! Stop! I saw that blackout. That was only for a moment. I think we're good. Okay, so... The only other team that I could really come up with, just leader skill-wise, it's hard to build, like, sub-leads out of these units. There aren't enough good, like, other leader skills, you know? But yeah, so this was another team that I came up with. Could be a decent option. So, just basically a Boo-centric team. A little bit of Majin power in there. And in fact, I would do the same thing on this team. So we'll go ahead and take this Fit Boo off. And then we'll throw on instead. I think that will work perfectly fine. Because he is still going to be providing some good links with big bad bosses and metamorphosis and stuff, so... he still does fit in very well with all the Boo cards, and then obviously the artificial lifeforms support. So yeah, there you go. This is how it could work. Oh, actually, I just realized you maybe could use this guy, because he is a transformation boost leader. It's only 150%. That's really not that good. Yeah, probably not. But you would have a different like team build option. So if you're still character locked and you don't have either the power absorption leads themselves, you could try transformation boost. There's quite a few transformation boost cards that overlap there. But yeah, so a bit of a smaller one, really small category, really niche characters. I don't know how we talked for longer than any of my other team building guides. I guess I didn't feel like I had to rush because there was so few units on the category, but we still went over like every single one of them. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Best of luck in your runs in the Piccolo EZA. Do not forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe on the video. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!